secrets of happy people, and one of the secrets was that basically people who are truly happy don't smile unless they actually feel happy. So anyway, I'll try to smile. I'm Mir Masud-Elias. What can I say about myself other than Philadelphia gave me my voice, and some of these, well, all of these poems were written in Philadelphia. There is one that's specifically dedicated to Philadelphia. So with that, I'll just sort of let my work speak for me. And as I go along, I'll give you a sense of where some of these thoughts came from, to the extent for what it's worth. I sort of pick things out of the air. They come to me. Okay, so again, for what it's worth. This is called The Crossing. The Crossing. Today, the lake in my heart became an ocean of the soul. Today, the lake in my heart became an ocean of the soul. But the boat I have to cross over stayed the same. This is for Philadelphia. This is called Viran Şehir. Viran Şehir means wilderness city in Turkish, and there is actually a city named Viran Şehir in Turkey. I have not been to Viran Şehir. I hope to go to Viran Şehir actually in November. Wilderness city. A quiet evening, soft winter air, smells of a new year already past its prime. The garland lights left on as if someone had forgotten that the party's been over for a while. Perhaps it's not yet begun. Perhaps the guests have forgotten today is the day. We walk on in the city with charms that are hidden even to itself. Like the shy child who blooms unseen. Like the girl who's the kind to bring home to mother but not the one to surprise with flowers. Like the fragile boy who wins every race against himself. Like the muse who is absent from the finished work. The lights twinkle on, needing no admirers, in the empty streets of the hidden city, cloaked with the memory of snow yet to come. Go on for a few more minutes. If you want to, you can hold the glass. So, growing up, I lived on fairy tales. I read every fairy tale I could ever read in English and my native language, Bengali. I even read Russian fairy tales, translated it into Bengali. I read, Slovenian fairy tales, translated into English. So I pretty much lived on that stuff. Well, this one's called Quest. No one ever told me that the adventures devoured as a child would show up in life someday. No one ever told me that the mind would stand in for the sword, the heart, the lost chalice everyone is seeking, the skin, the armor that takes a beating every day, the eyes, windows at the top of the tower in which we are imprisoned, the soul, the writhing dragon that requires confrontation and submission, that we are the ones that cause the distress that damsels suffer, only to be their savior someday. No one ever told me that the wish to live larger than life, to live 1,001 nights in one, would be granted in the form of one life that unfolds anew, a day at a time, every day. I wish someone had told me. I actually work in a hospital, which is something I never envisioned I would do, because the idea of going through a hospital building in order to get to my office is very disturbing to me. But it's something I do every day. And this is based on some of that experience. It's called Recycled Souls. I sometimes start with an epitaph at the beginning of my poems, and this says, I can't go back to yesterday because I was a different person then. Recycled souls. Old souls, wise souls, tired souls, bone-tired, tired bones. Waiting to be discharged with clothes that hang too loose, the mask of my real face donned, all tubed up so my electrolyte balance is just so. People walk by trying not to stare, wondering whether there'll be anyone to take me back home. I wonder too. I've been here before, on a sunny day too long ago to remember, when the last bell rang to end school and no one came. The teacher waiting with me kept looking impatiently at her watch with no mobile devices to while the time or get information. Just the ponderous slog of waiting at the pleasure of the second hand of the watch. They're just late. The plural is important in these matters. They'll be here soon. Perhaps something came up. I hope they're okay. Displaced anxiety is always so quietly satisfying. Songs piped into the hospital lobby play in my head. Suddenly, all the songs I never understood make sense now. How very nice. When you flay the skin, have you noticed how the blood doesn't rise until much later? So this is one of the first poems I wrote about a year or so ago. I hadn't written anything for about 15 or so years. So there was a 15-year hiatus, and then I started writing again. This is one of the first ones that came out. It's called Fana. Fana, and people here can correct me if I'm wrong, is a Sufi term for annihilation or dissolution of the self. Fana. That day when you were all looking for me, I was looking at you all from high up on the highest ledge, with the birds taking a bath in the water that had collected. I remembered that it had rained the night before, as it always did. High up on my perch, I felt carefree, even invisible, and better able to think clearly about the death of a talking rabbit on TV that came upon me unawares before the screen flashed the end as I fled to the ledge with my sobs. You see, I'd gotten quite fond of that talking rabbit. Perhaps it was all this burial under a blossoming tree business that I didn't understand. As dusk closed in, the birds left one by one for their nests, while the bats came out for their evening stroll. One little girl jumped off the ledge that day. The other stayed behind and quietly went down to dinner. In case my accent isn't a dead giveaway, I'm an immigrant here. And this is my poem to all immigrants. It's called It's a Day to Keep the Glasses On. It's been many years, but I haven't forgotten the 2 bags, 23 kilograms each, with dimensions of 90 centimeters times 75 centimeters times 43 centimeters, including the handle pockets and wheels. What I don't remember are the minute choices that decided what parts of the young life to pack into those bags and what to discard on a one-way ticket out of home. What if I forgot to pack the essentials all those years ago? Woo! I just have a couple more. Do you want me to end here?
No, please.
Okay. So, I like writing poems of Revenge is a good way to describe it. Yes. You can see like melancholy, sadness, these are recurring themes in poetry, but I think revenge is a good one. Anger, hate. Yeah, those are good things. So these two are my poems of revenge. To whom or what, that we shall not discuss. So the first is called A Story. You tried to write your story with ink from my blood, a quill from my bones, my soul as muse. I wouldn't let you, at least not in this lifetime. Perhaps in our next lives, the pen will be in my hand. And this one's called To Love and Honor. The word honor, I think, has a particular significance with people who come from a South Asian background. To love and honor. When we walked on summer evenings hand in hand, I told myself, remember this feeling. When I woke up in this shallow grave with a mouth full of blood, I told myself, remember this feeling. I think I'll end with a goodbye poem to the summer. Yeah. These are my photographs, by the way. Hope you enjoy them. This is called Those Quiet Summer Evenings. And this is my most recent work. It was the summer of purples and blues, invisible shooting stars, ponderous deliberations of paradoxical concepts, humanitarian intervention, surgical strikes, just war. It was the summer of learning about butterfly bushes, gut flora, and the latest in child development, of naive assumptions in constructing a genealogy fragmented by history and human desire. It was the summer of lonely evenings, yours and mine, 7 hours apart. It was the summer when over a drink with a friend I realized, what if there were other children? Imagine that. Thank you.
Let's give Mir another round of applause.